Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to the Slang Ages podcast here on YouTube. Here is a brief summary of my next episode, which is episode 11, I believe, season 5. And that episode 11, we look at the album Ozomatli by the band Ozomatli. This album came out in 1998. The band's been around since 1995, and it is a cross-pollination of many cultures. They are based out of Los Angeles, and they have Chinese, Tunisian, Jordan, Cuban, and Burmese or Burma cultures intertwined in a wonderful musical stew, which is full of rock, funk, rap, hip hop rhythms. They are a simply fantastic album. Now, as I mentioned, Ozomatli, their debut album was in 1998. It has really a few core members of the group who are still with the group, six core members: guitar, bass, and drum, keyboards, a saxophone, and trumpet. And most of the lyrics from the 1998 debut album were in Spanish, with some rap lyrics being handled by special guests, most notably Charlie Tuna as their special rapper, but they also have a rapper in the group. Ozo Motley, saying that they're a mix of a lot of different groups and that they're fantastic doesn't really do them service because, yeah, the album Ozomatli, their debut album, one of nine, is a great album, and they have some other fantastic albums. But one of the things I love about this band is that they are so wonderful live. They have an energy that transcends what they do on stage. And as I mentioned, most of their lyrics for their debut album and their second album are in Spanish, but you don't have to speak Spanish to get the nuance of what they're talking about and also understand the energy. They are simply contagious. Their energy is simply contagious. So the first album is called Ozomatli, as I mentioned. That's the one I'm going to feature on the podcast. I urge you to check out Slang of Ages podcast on your podcatcher. And on this episode, I'll give you a detailed analysis of this album, song by song, and also talk about where the band has gone in terms of their later albums. Again, you should check out ozomatli.com. It gives a great listing of their albums and gives great samples of their albums. And also, they have some wonderful merchandise. Ozomatli has, I believe, two live albums, and they also have an EP. They've done children's albums, they've done children's shows, and just such a wonderful, wonderful band, such a positive band. It's such a great mix of genres and make it all seem seamless. So check out Ozomatli. This album was not one which charted on the pop charts, but did reach number 7 on the Latin charts and number 4 on the Latin pop charts. The Latin album charts and Latin pop charts, it did chart. And it also had some singles, most notably Cut Chemist Suite, which was used by Tony Hawk's on his one of his video games, and Super Bowl Sunday, which did make it on the Billboard Heat Seekers chart, peaking at number 25. Fantastic songs, but a whole bunch of fantastic songs. 12 songs in general, 12 songs in particular, and all but two written solely by the band. Again, uh, they have albums dating from 1998, their debut, which we're talking about in the podcast, to 2024. An album should be coming out in a few weeks or so. They're their 10th album, I believe, 10th studio album. Also, check out their Embrace the Chaos album, which is a second album, which takes us even further in terms of the mix, a hybrid of music. And I think that was produced by the great Steve Berlin, who is, of course, of Los Lobos as their sax player and a great producer. Then in 2004, the Street Signs album came out. And that was even a little bit more towards the center of music. It had a lot more English sung songs, but there's still some Spanish sung songs, and of course, there's also some rap, some great hip hop rhythms. And then 2006 Seven's Don't Mess with the Dragon. 2010, they returned with Fire Away. 2012, they had the Ozo Kids album, which is a kids album, obviously. And 2014, Place in the Sun came out. They did a covers album of Jamaican and Mexican songs, those two together in 2017's Nonstop. Nonstop, Mexico to Jamaica. And then in 2020, their last album, Marching On, or the latest album, Marching On, came out in 2020. Again, refining their sound. But this Ozomatli album from 1998 is raw, is uninhibited, it's fun, it is socially conscious. They're a band which believes in equality, diversity, and giving back to the community in LA where most of them live. And it is one not to be missed because if you like good rock, you like rock in Espanol, you like a hybrid of music, Ozomatli is for you. And if you like to dance, check it out. So check out my podcast. Again, this is episode number 11, season 5, where we talk about Ozomatli's album, Ozomatli. And the season's winding down. Just one more standard episode before we get to some special guests. Season 5. We'll take a brief break, and then we'll go full bore into season 6. I have a whole list of albums I want to talk about from my collection. So you can write me here on YouTube. You can email me directly at slangofages at me.com or my website, slangofages.com. And please tell a friend, please subscribe, and please leave feedback. And I will see you very soon. Take care. Bye.